Welcome to MBA Solutions. I am Manjunath, working as an assistant professor at VVC, Mysuru. In this video, let us discuss matter to be stated in prospectus of a company. Before going into the video, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon to receive more notifications. Prospectus is a document which appeals the public to invest in an organization. So when any company, any public limited company wants to pool fund from the public, they have to issue prospectus, and this prospectus should have more number of details related to the company. Now let us see what and all are the details this prospectus should have. Prospectus shall state the following information about the company, and it has been mentioned in section 26 of Companies Act 2013. So what are the details? First one, name and address of registered office, where the registered or head office of the organization is, name and address of company secretary, chief finance officer, auditors, legal advisors, bankers, members, trustees if any, underwriter, that means who is going to sign on these issues, sign on the issues of security and shares, they are underwriters, and any other person which has been prescribed according to different laws. So all their names and addresses should be mentioned in the prospectus of a company. Now coming to the other details, dates of opening and closing of the issue. That means when this particular IPO or initial public offering or this security particular share is the date of opening and when it is going to close, till what date is going to close. Then declaration about the issue of allotment. So the declaration from the directors of the company saying that whatever allotment is done is fair and legal, and refund with prescribed time, when it will be refunded back, when the money will be given back, when dividends will be issued, all these details has to be mentioned in the prospectus. Then board of directors statement regarding bank account where all money received out of the issue are transferred. That means which bank account they have to pay the money so that they can purchase the shares. That details and statement has to be published by the board of directors, and disclosure of all money details utilized in and unutilized of previous issue. So how previous issue money has been utilized and how much previous issue money has not been utilized, all the details also has to be given. That means how much money or fund we have pulled from the previous issue, in that how much we have utilized, how much the company has not utilized. So that details also has to be given in the prospectus. Then details about underwriting of the issue. That means what is the procedure of purchasing the shares, who will sign the shares, who is the authorized person to issue shares. So these underwriting issue details has to also be given by the prospectus of the company. Then consent of directors, auditors, bankers to the issue, experts opinion if any. So whether directors, auditors and bankers also are okay with the particular issue means particular advertisement of pooling fund from the public, whether they are okay, whether their permission or approval is taken, and if any experts opinion on that particular advertisement or issue, public offering, whether experts have any opinion to tell whether it is benefit or not benefit, whether to invest or not to invest, if any expert have given any inputs, that also can be mentioned in prospectus. Now coming to other details, the authority for the issue and details of resolution passed. So who is the authority? That is whether SEBI has approved, whether whoever the body of authority, whether they have approved for this particular prospectus to issue, and what resolution you have passed in your general meeting or articles of association details, how resolution is passed. So whether people in the organization or members of the organization, shareholders or directors have approved or agreed for that particular resolution for that particular issue of prospectus, that also has to be mentioned. Then procedure and time schedule for allotment and issue of security. Please, what is the procedure to purchase the securities or shares of the company? Time schedule for allotment and issue of security. When they will issue the securities, till what time, till what date, till what period, how, what is the procedure to purchase, be it shares or be it bonds or be it debentures. So what is the procedure, when they will allot, when they will issue certificates, all these details has to be mentioned. Capital structure of the company in the prescribed manner. So capital structure. So what is the capital structure of the company as of now, that has to be mentioned. Then main objects of public offer, why public offer is giving, why we are issuing prospectus and why we want fund from the public, what is the purpose of this public offer, main objects and present business of company and its location. So what is the object of the business, that means it will be there in memorandum of association. So what is the purpose of business, what is the present business, that means whether in this particular business you want to pool fund from the public. So what business you are doing, in which location, what are your areas of performance, what are your areas where you are doing the business, all this has to be mentioned. Minimum subscription, amount payable by way of premium, issue of shares other than on cash. That means what is the minimum subscription, how much subscription I can purchase, how much shares I can purchase, minimum how much shares I have to purchase, maximum how much, amount payable by way of premium. If I want to be a premium member, a premium shareholder, then how much amount I have to pay. Issue of shares other than on cash, any share that can be issued without payment of cash or by any other means other than cash. See, sometimes what happens, company purchase, or if company acquires any other company, they make the payment not in the form of cash, they make the payment in the form of shares. So this is other than cash transaction. Like that, if a company is issuing shares other than any cash, any other mode or means of payment, that also has to be mentioned. Then details of directors, including their appointment, remuneration, extent of their interests in the company. That means how directors are appointed, what is the remuneration of the directors, and extent of their interest in the company. That means how, why they have to perform or give this issue, what is their interest, what is their benefit, all this has to be mentioned. Any litigation or legal proceedings or legal action pending by government or any statutory body against the company during last 5 years. So any legal case is going on between the government organization or any statutory body and the company in last 5 years, that details also has to be mentioned. So any statutory body means maybe RBI, SEBI, these are all statutory bodies. So any legal action or any litigation, any legal process or any legal case is going on between the company and these bodies during last 5 years, that also has to be mentioned. Or any litigation have happened already in last 5 years and judgment might have come, that also you have to mention in the prospectus. Then particulars relating to management perception about the risk factor specific to the project. So in this particular business for which the company is pooling fund from the public, so what is the risk factor involved, what management thinks, do management thinks that risk is high, risk is low, what happens to the returns, what happens to the investment, their perception has to be mentioned. Extent of progress made in the project, so whether this is in the starting stage or it is in the middle stage, ending stage. So this, why this particular project requires fund from the public, all this has to be mentioned. Deadlines for completion of the project, when this particular project or particular business will start getting lot of money, when this project will end, deadlines, all this has to be mentioned in prospectus. Then auditors report about 5 years financial statement. So auditors will give a report on financial statements. So audited statements, all these statements related to finance, profit and loss account, balance sheet, everything, every detail of 5 years has to be mentioned in prospectus, and any other details related to the company has to be mentioned. And please understand, prospectus is a methodology or is a document which tells the outsider that how company is doing and why it is important for you to invest in the company. So that is why all the details, everything, you should not hide anything, every detail about the company you should give in the form of prospectus. because people want to know what company is doing and what happens if I invest in the company. So all these details has to be mentioned in the prospectus of a company. Let us understand this with a small case example. In 2007, DLF issued prospectus to raise the fund from the public. So in company's prospectus, they have not shown one associate company. So they had one associate company, but that associate company has not been mentioned in the prospectus. You have to give all the details, all the subsidiary companies, associate companies, but they have missed one associate company which belongs to DLF. See, subsidiary company are those company where the holding company has more than 50% of the shares. Then that particular company becomes a subsidiary company. If the company, the holding company, have shares in any company which is between 20% to 50% of shares, then these companies are called associate companies. So if a company has more than 50% of shares in any company, it becomes subsidiary. If a company has 20 to 50% in between that number of shares of any other company, that company becomes an associate company. But DLF have not shown one associate company in their prospectus. Investigation found out that there is a misstatement. That means they have not mentioned this particular company as associate company. So the court banned the promoters for 3 years. So promoters means the members of the company were banned for 3 years. Later the company went for an higher appeal for the higher court and punishment was reduced. So this is why prospectus play a major role, because if you miss a small detail mentioning in the prospectus, it might lead to a costly mistake. So this is about the matters that has to be stated in prospectus, why it is to be stated, and what happens if you don't give some details to the public where they are interested to invest in your company. Thank you for watching the video.